Hello everyone. So here I have taken an example for a Nyquist stability criteria. By Nyquist stability criteria, determine the stability of closed loop system whose open loop transfer function is given by s plus 2 whole divided by s plus 1 into s minus 1, and comment on stability of open loop and closed loop system. So this is the open loop transfer function they have given as g of s h of s equal to s plus 2 by s plus 1 into s minus 1. So according to the question, we have to draw the Nyquist plot here. So in this system, there is no pole in imaginary axis and there is no pole in origin axis. Why? Because see here, this is the numerator part, we call it as a 0, and denominator part is pole. So here s plus 1 we need to equate with the 0, that is s plus 1 equal to 0 means we'll get s value as minus 1 and here s value as plus 1. So our Nyquist contour, in this we have to take in there is no pole in imaginary axis and there is no pole in origin. So for the plane value as s equal to minus 1 and s equal to plus 1. So see here, the first step in Nyquist plot, the open loop transfer function does not have a pole at origin and also does not have a poles at imaginary axis. See here, hence our Nyquist plot will get like this. Why? Because see here, according to our system, we have a 3 sections, that means that C1, C2 and C3. So in this system there are no poles in imaginary axis and no poles in origin. So our Nyquist plot contour like this. See here. So here we will get a 3 sections, that is C1, C2 and C3 from omega value equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. So starting from 0, here we taken starting from 0 and going to the infinity value, starting from 0 and it's coming to infinity value. See here, by seeing pole in question, we are placing a sections by seeing a poles in question, s equal to plus 1, s equal to minus 1 and s equal to plus 1. By seeing a poles value, we are going to place the sections here, that is C1, C2 and C3. Now we have to map the sections individually. Like see here, this is the step 2. I am mapping the section of C1. For that the omega varies from 0 to infinity. See here, in this the omega should be vary from 0 to plus infinity, that is C1 value. So after that, just take an open loop transfer function, that is g of s into h of s equal to s plus 2 whole divided by s plus 1 into minus 1. So by simplification, I just taken a 2 outside and we'll get a 1 plus 0.5 s whole divided by 1 plus s and minus 1 plus s. So for this open loop transfer function, we are substituting a s value as j omega, that is 2 into 1 plus 0.5 j omega whole divided by 1 plus j omega minus 1 plus j omega. After this, we'll get a magnitude and angle value, magnitude and phase value. See here, 2 into root of 1 plus 0.25 omega square angle of tan inverse of 0.5 omega whole divided by root of 1 plus omega square angle of tan inverse of omega root of 1 plus omega square into angle of 180 degree minus tan inverse omega. Here tan inverse omega will get cancelled and this root of 1 plus omega square into root of 1 plus omega square will get 1 plus omega square. Here we are writing 2 into root of 1 plus 0.25 omega square as it is. Afterward, this into this will get a 1 plus omega square. Then tan inverse omega will get cancelled. After that, minus 180 degree plus tan inverse of 0.5 omega. So this is in magnitude part. In this we have a magnitude and phase plot here. So for the magnitude, for this given system, the magnitude plot is magnitude of g of j omega into h of j omega equal to 2 into root of 1 plus 0.25 omega square whole divided by 1 plus omega square. This is the magnitude part of a given system. Similarly, phase value, that is angle of g of j omega into h of j omega equal to minus 180 degree plus tan inverse of 0.5 omega. So this is a phase value and this is a magnitude value. So for this we have to plot a polar plot. See here, this is a polar plot value for a given omega. So here omega value we have to substitute from 0 to infinity. Why? Because the C1 is varies from the section C1 is varies from 0 to infinity. So here I have taken a omega value as 0, 0.4, 1, 2 up to infinity. 1, 2, around some random value I have taken for omega value. So 0, 0.4, 1, 2, 10, infinity. So the first row is magnitude part and the second row is phase plot. That is, for omega value, if it is 0 means we have to substitute here the magnitude value. That means for here omega value we have to take it as 0 up to infinity. Similarly, for phase value we have to substitute the omega value as 0 to infinity. So for 0, omega value 0 will get 2. Similarly, 0.4 will get 1.76. For 1 he'll get 1.12. For 2, 0.5. For 10, 0.1. For infinity, omega value as for omega, if we substitute omega as infinity means the magnitude will get as 0. Similarly, for phase value, so for omega value for infinity will get minus 90 degree. From 2 to minus 90 degree is the angular value here. See, after this, from the above analysis means from the above tabular column we have to plot the C section here, means section C1. So here see, we can conclude that g of j omega, h of j omega start from minus 180 degree axis at a magnitude of 2 from omega equal to 0 and it meets origin along minus 90 degree at omega equal to infinity. Omega equal to 0 for the magnitude value is 2 and omega equal to infinity for the magnitude for the phase angle value is minus 90 degree. See here, for this we have mapped the section C1. So this is from omega equal to 0 to plus infinity, that is C1 value for a S-plane. See here for this we have taken a semicircle. Why? Because for this omega equal to 0 to 90 degree, from 0 to 90 degree. Here we taken a plus 90 degree. Why? Because it is in left hand side. We are mapping a section C1 by substituting a omega 0 to omega infinity value and finding a magnitude and angle separately here. So here minus 2 because it's in left side. So we are changing the direction here because it is in left side. So minus 2 to plus 90 degree, that is omega equal to 0 to omega equal to 90 degree from the given S-plane. So this is the section C1. See here, the section C1 in S-plane and its corresponding mapping in G of S into H of S plane. That means this G of S into H of S plane are given in a above figure. So this is the mapping of section C1. Similarly, we have to map the section C2. So for mapping a section C2, so we have obtaining a limit of r to infinity, that is r into e power j theta. So limit of r into e power j theta for this section C2 in S-plane is mapped on the circle or of 0 radical around a right angle of a S-plane. See here, in G of S and H of S, the first mapping section is C1 from 0 to infinity, right? Similarly, for C2 section is theta from plus pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, that is since we have taken a s value as r into e power j theta and r is to infinity. So g of s into h of s, it means open loop transfer function can be approximated as shown in below. That means 1 plus st, which is equal to s into t. So we have taken a g of s h of s value here, that is 2 into 1 plus 0.5 s whole divided by 1 plus s into minus 1 plus s. So after that we just simplify here. So 2 into 0.5 s whole divided by 1 plus s into minus 1 plus s, that is we'll get s into s. So the equation will get as 1 by s. So here s means limit of r tends to infinity, that is r into e power j theta. So we need to substitute the s value here. That means after this we'll get a magnitude value as 1 by limit of r into e power j theta, that is equal to 0. 1 by infinity means 0 will get 0 into e power minus j theta. So here then section C2, when theta equal to pi by 2, then g of s into h of s equal to 0 into e power minus j pi by 2. Similarly, when theta equal to minus pi by 2, then g of s into h of s equal to 0 into e power plus j pi by 2. So see here, this is for section C2, we are mapping from plus pi by 2 to minus pi by 2. See the direction here, from plus pi by 2 to minus pi by 2. When r equal to, r was 0 here. When r was 0, so the direction is changed here. See here, in section C2, in S plane is mapped as a circular from 0 radical around the origin in g of s into h of s plane. See, this is a g of s into h of s plane with a varying of minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Why? Because r was 0. So in section 1 we got an omega value as from 0 to infinity. In section C2 we got a value as from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Similarly we'll go for a section C3, mapping of section C3. So see here, this is the mirror image of C1 section. How it will be? See, omega varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. Omega varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. The mapping of section C3 is given by a g of j omega into h of j omega in the S plane. So omega varies from minus infinity to 0. Minus infinity to 0. This locus is the inverse plot of g of j omega into h of j omega. This is the inverse plot. That means the inverse polar plot is given by the mirror image of a polar plot with respect to a real axis. See here, for this C3 is nothing but a mirror image of a C1 section, that is omega equal to minus infinity to 0. So the direction will be like this. This is the C3 value. So similarly, so if it is like this means that is a C1 value. See here, it's going from minus infinity to 0. That means minus 2. See here, the direction has to be changed. Why? Because it is in inverse polar plot. Inverse polar plot for a mirror image of polar plot with respect to a real axis. So after all three mapping sections, we need to compare all three sections. So the given Nyquist plot means for the given open loop transfer function, we have plot the Nyquist plot here. See here, combining all the three sections. See here, this is the first one, section C1. So from minus 2 to 0, that means from 0 to infinity. Similarly C2. C2 means minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Next is C3. C3 means from minus infinity to 0. 0 to infinity, minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Then minus infinity to 0. So we have combined all the three sections by using a given open loop transfer function. So see here, it should be in an anti-clockwise direction. The encirclement is given in an anti-clock direction at a one time minus 1 plus j0. This is the path we have taken. So minus 1 plus j0 is in encircled in anti-clock direction at a one time. Also see here, this is an open loop transfer function. So for a given open loop transfer function, we have taken a one plot at right side of the S-plane. Since the number of anti-clock direction, the number of anti-clock encirclement, which is equal to the number of open loop poles. So then the given closed loop system, we call it as a stable system. So here in question, we have to observe the stability of a open loop and closed loop system. Here the open loop system is unstable and closed loop system is stable. Why the open loop system is unstable means the transfer function, that is g of s and h of s, the g of s and h of s, the any number of a pole at right side. If it is in right side means it should be unstable. Why? Because see the poles, they have given s plus 1 and s minus 1. These are the poles. So the poles means s equal to minus 1 and s equal to plus 1 here. So for the given open loop system is an unstable value. Why? Because this should be in a right side. Right side means the given system is unstable. So for the open loop system is unstable and closed loop system is stable.